Hello travelers from around the world, the backpack is back, and in this video, we're gonna visit one magical country, Norway. So get ready to meet Vikings, fjords, and trolls. Welcome to stunning Norway, which knows no bounds. Indeed, the Norwegian coastline is the longest in Europe. If we take into account all the fjords and islands, it measures 100,000 kilometers. Norway also boasts 3 seas, hundreds of thousands of islands, as well as an incredible number of lakes and fjords. Also, this amazing country is home to a huge number of wild animals, including seals, whales, unique narwhals, bears, and 100 species of reindeer. Now we're talking. The best way to travel around Norway is by car. There's no bus tour, no weekend escape to the fjords, or even independent travel by public transportation that can beat a road trip. A road trip offers freedom, overnight stays in incredible places, the beauty of the country's roads, and the accessibility of remote places. Don't worry though, you don't have to go through tons of guidebooks and spend a lot of time planning the route. After all, you have me, your faithful friend, Backpack. And like any self-respecting polar explorer, I've selected for you the most exciting places that this amazing country has to offer. So are you ready to immerse yourself in this magical world? Then follow me. A 12-day Scandinavian fairy tale lies ahead of us. My journey begins in Oslo, the capital of Norway, where I arrived by plane. Oslo Airport is a landmark in its own right. It is one of the most environmentally friendly airports in the world. The airport is located 50 kilometers from the city center, a journey that takes just 20 minutes. A high-speed train will bring you right to Oslo Central Station, Norway's oldest train station, built in 1854. This time I decided to stay at the Eco Hotel Clarion Hotel The Hub, which is next to the train station and has a garden, sauna, swimming pool, and a glass-roofed restaurant. Norway is a real paradise. It's one of the most developed countries in the world with a high standard of living. It's famous for its rich natural resources such as oil, natural gas, hydroelectric power, forests, and minerals. Having all that, they could have continued to grow wealthier on them alone, but instead, they choose to develop renewable energy resources such as solar and wind power. This is the first thing that strikes you about Oslo. They care a lot about the environment here. There are electric cars, bicycles, green buses, and streetcars everywhere. Apparently, there are about 125,000 electric cars in Oslo. By 2025, they will no longer sell new gasoline-powered cars at all in Norway, and by 2030, 90% of Oslo's electricity will come from renewable sources. To understand how the Norwegians managed to achieve such a milestone, it's important to emphasize their special connection with nature. Their whole life is closely intertwined with the sea, which is an integral part of Norwegian culture. That's why, starting with the Vikings, the Norwegians were among the most prolific explorers. They discovered Iceland, Greenland, and North America. Norway is undeniably a nation of great sailors, but besides them, Norway has another well-known personality. Did you know that the artist Edvard Munch was Norwegian? His famous painting, The Scream, depicts a man standing on the Ullebrio Bridge across the Oslo Fjord. The original can be seen at the Munch Museum right here in Oslo. Since we're talking about what Norway is associated with, we have to mention trolls, the main protagonist of Nordic culture. Norwegians adore them with all their heart. These mythical creatures have become an integral part of Norwegian folklore and culture. They can be found everywhere. Trolls are said to bring good luck and protect your home, so as a souvenir of a troll would be a great gift for your loved ones. Well, that's enough facts for today. It's time to relax in the sauna by the bay. Yes, you heard it right. There is a sauna in the very center of Oslo with panoramic windows that offer stunning views of Havidaya Island. It's a perfect getaway. And afterwards, you can swim in the bay itself to get a boost of energy, especially in winter when the water is freezing cold. Well, let's start our journey around Norway from a village called Spangereid, which is a 6-hour drive from Oslo. The route to it runs along the picturesque coastline of the Skagerrak Strait. Along the road, you will see a lot of campsites where tourists live in motorhomes, rest spots, and rather steep cliffs, which are covered with metal nets that protect the road from rock falls. Spangereid is a former Norwegian commune that is now part of the Lindesnes municipality. It used to be inhabited by the Vikings, and archaeological findings and excavations have revealed that during the Viking Age, there was a canal that ran right through the center of modern Spangereid. The Vikings probably built the canal to avoid unnecessary navigation through the raging waters around the jagged Lindesnes coast. The canal also must have provided extra income that other sailors would pay to use when traveling between the west and east coasts. In 2007, a replica of the canal was opened, and just like ancient times, it allows sailors to travel from east to west without having to go around the Lindesnes headland. In addition to the canal, there are 2 other interesting sites in Spangereid. First, the huge Lindesnes lighthouse, which is the oldest in Norway and one of the tallest in the world. It was built in 1655. It's 41 meters high and is included in the UNESCO Cultural Heritage List. Secondly, there is an underwater restaurant called Under, situated at a depth of 5.5 meters. It was the first of its kind in Europe and is the largest in the world. The establishment specializes in exquisite dishes made from local products, especially seafood. You have to book 3 to 4 months in advance, but even to look at it from the outside is already a memorable event. In addition to the restaurant, this architectural marvel also houses a marine research center. Interdisciplinary research teams work here to study marine biology and fish behavior using cameras and other measuring devices mounted outside the facility. After exploring Spangereid, I stayed at the Hotel Lindesnes Have Hotel. The hotel was pleasant not only because of its cozy and stylish interior, but also due to its excellent restaurant with breathtaking views and a spacious covered terrace. The next day, I drove further north along scenic mountain roads surrounded by lakes and rivers. I had to stop several times along the way to let the sheep pass, and, of course, to admire the stunning views. After lunch at the hilltop restaurant Slottet Sirdal, I finally reached Sirdal's summer park, where a 3-bedroom cottage by the lake was waiting for me. The cottages are very cozy, peaceful, and surrounded by nature, and of course, each one has its own fireplace and sauna. There are many sites of interest in the area, including the Sirdal ski resort, but I'm here like most travelers because of Kjeragbolten. After a hearty breakfast, I headed off to Kjeragbolten, as it's known in Norwegian. This is a huge rock the size of a house, wedged in a large crevice in the mountain at about 1,000 meters altitude. The hike to Kjeragbolten is quite challenging, with a 2.5-hour trek to the top of Kjerag Mountain. And it takes the same amount of time to get back. But what wouldn't one do for an epic photo? There are rumors among the locals that if you stand on Kjeragbolten and make a wish, it will definitely come true. After the epic climb, I was starving and had dinner at a restaurant above the Kjerag cliff. I decided to spend the next day at ease as the main peaks were yet to come, so I headed to Stavanger, which can be reached by land or water. I chose the ferry to see the Lysefjord in all its splendor. It stretches for 42 kilometers and reaches a depth of 500 meters. The fjord is surrounded by majestic mountains, covered in dense forest along its shores. Stavanger is rightfully considered to be the most beautiful city in Norway. Since oil was discovered in this region, Stavanger has become the headquarters of the oil industry. It has a large number of restaurants with traditional cuisine, stores, and old cobblestone streets. This is what Stavanger is today. My first stop in Stavanger was Radisson Blue Atlantic. This hotel combines everything a traveler needs: a perfect location, gorgeous panoramic views, and a park with a lake just across the street. For breakfast, they offer porridge, croissants, red fish, and other delicious things. And of course, we have to mention the sauna with floor-to-ceiling windows on the top floor. The hotel is located in the very center, so I immediately went for a walk around the old town, which is listed as a World Heritage Site. The old part of the city includes 140 old houses, and looking at these toy houses, it's hard to believe that more than one generation of large families had lived in them. The main occupation of the city's inhabitants is oil production, mussel, and salmon farming. After having rested and recovered, it was time to conquer the next peak, Preikestolen, or the Pulpit Rock, which is listed among the most outstanding natural sights in Norway. It is a steep cliff which rises 604 meters above Lysefjord and offers breathtaking views of it. The hike to Preikestolen is 3.8 kilometers long, but this seemingly insignificant figure should not mislead you, as you will have to tackle an ascent of as much as 330 meters. A traveler in good physical shape will be able to complete the route in an hour, while the rest of us will have to expect a 2-hour climb. Pulpit Rock is an extremely popular tourist destination. On a nice summer day, more than 100 people can sit on the flat surface of the rock at a time. And during the peak season, it receives more than 15,000 visitors. So don't look for peace and solitude here. However, if you're looking for stunning views, a place to stare into the abyss, and to have fun with other hikers, then Preikestolen is one of the best destinations in Norway for you. If hiking isn't your thing after all, you can just go to the panoramic viewpoint nearby, which also offers some pretty good views. That night, I decided to stay at the Hotel Tusedal. This historic hotel is a real masterpiece of architecture and is one of the oldest in Norway. Finally, the much anticipated day has arrived. Perhaps it's one of the most vivid days of my life. Today, I will see Trolltunga, or Troll's Tongue, a rock of unusual shape which rises as much as 700 meters above the picturesque lake. This rock is widely considered one of the most beautiful and dangerous places in all of Norway. The night before the hike, I went to bed early. After getting up at the crack of dawn and driving to the parking lot, I set off on the challenging and long hike. If you want to take some unforgettable photos and enjoy a unique experience, you have to walk 12 kilometers along the mountain trail. The whole hike takes about 5 hours one way. Trolltunga is a great opportunity to test your strength and enjoy breathtaking views that will remain with you forever. And the photos taken from the Troll's Tongue will always be a source of inspiration and delight for your friends. Having rested after my hike up the Troll's Tongue, I headed towards Bergen, but I decided to take my time and see a couple more beauty spots along the way. Although they were a little out of the way, it would have been a mistake to miss them. The first place I stopped was Voring Falls, which is almost 185 meters high. The next stop was the Hardanger Bridge, which is the longest suspension bridge in Norway. And finally, another waterfall, Steinsdalsfossen, which you can not only see, but also walk under. At last, I arrived in Bergen, Norway's cultural capital and a city of galleries, theaters, and museums. Bergen was founded in the year 1070 and has many historical monuments, including Bergen, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Bergen is a series of Hanseatic heritage commercial buildings lined up along the eastern side of the Bergen harbor. The buildings are colorful wooden houses with triangular roofs, and it's really hard to believe that most of them are more than 300 years old. At first glance, these fairy tale houses look very similar to each other, but if you look closely, you will find a unique charm in each of them. Today, these buildings are souvenir shops, art galleries, cafes, and restaurants. There's also a fish market nearby, and museums that recount the history of the city and the merchant life of the 18th century. In order to be right in the center, it's best to stay at the Radisson Blu Hotel. It's set in an idyllic location on the waterfront, amidst the Bergen houses. The hotel's award-winning architecture fits perfectly into the historic district, and it offers the perfect combination of modern amenities in a cozy and warm atmosphere. A short walk from the city center, there is an unusual seawater pool called Lindesnes next to the aquarium. You can swim both in the pool itself and in the sea. There's also a sauna, a diving board, and showers. By the way, in the port of Bergen, I was lucky enough to see the World, which is the largest private residential yacht on Earth with 165 residences. The residents live on board while the ship travels around the globe. To complete your acquaintance with Bergen, I advise you to take a sightseeing cruise along its historical sites. Today, I'm heading in the direction of what the Norwegians themselves consider to be the most beautiful fjord. On the way, I encountered many waterfalls, next to which you can even spend the night in a campsite. However, I decided to stay in a comfort at the Design Hotel El Val. It's a fantastic modern hotel with cozy modern cottages. The floor-to-ceiling windows offer panoramic views of the lake. Imagine waking up to this unspoiled view. After reaching Gudvangen village, I took a ferry ride on Fjord, one of the most mysterious and enigmatic of Norway's fjords. The rocky walls of the Fjord converge so closely, in some places the fjord is only 300 meters wide, that when a ship sails here, it often looks as though it's entering a very peculiar sort of tunnel. This Norwegian wonder has made its way through the most barren, seemingly impregnable places to the greatest heights of the country of the Vikings. That night I decided to stay at the Bergen apartments, which are located just a few steps away from the pier where the fjord excursion ships depart from. These brand new apartments are equipped with modern furniture and appliances, and the views are stunning. No luxuries, but just what you need. The next day I traveled further north along a scenic road surrounded by mountains with snow-capped peaks. That is, unless of course you choose to take the bypass through the longest tunnel in Norway. Upon reaching Manhaller, I found myself on road number 5, also known as the Glacier Road. It runs through the Jostedalsbreen National Park. This is where Europe's largest mainland glacier, Jostedalsbreen, is located and which gave the park its name. Final stop for today is the Loen Skylift Hotel, standing on the bank of a river with boisterous rapids. Many of the rooms have a wonderful balcony with a heated terrace where you can relax and enjoy the view. The hotel is conveniently located near the cable car that goes up to the top of the mountain, which is where I will be heading tomorrow. Open in 2017, the Loen Skylift has become one of Norway's most exciting architectural projects. It's one of the steepest gondola cable cars in the world, and it takes you to the top of Mount Hoven in just 5 minutes. top, you can enjoy absolutely mind-blowing views as well as a delicious meal at a local restaurant. That night, I stayed at the 4-star Grand Fjord Hotel, located just 100 meters from Geirangerfjord, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a few minutes drive from the village of Geiranger itself, so it's not crowded and very quiet. The hotel offers comfortable rooms with stunning views of the fjord. So here it is, the last day of my epic journey through Norway. I decided that the best way to spend it would be to see Geirangerfjord from the water. Early in the morning, feeling very excited, I went straight to the pier where a boat was waiting for me and a local farmer woman was the captain. She told us a lot of interesting things about the fjord and about the life of people in these harsh parts of the world.
This is a very special fjord. It is on UNESCO's list of World Heritage. There are great reasons for this. It is, of course, the nature, the fjord and the areas around, but the main reason for this World Heritage status is the old farms. It started 1,000 years ago in the Viking Age. Instead of going Viking and robbing other people, they came here with boats, went up to the valley, and they started farming. There was at least perhaps more than 150 farms along the fjord. Now the farms, they are down to about 30. Nobody is living there anymore, except one family. But that is just one crazy family. I'm living on a mountain farm.
During the ride, we also saw many picturesque waterfalls, the most famous of which is the Seven Sisters. Imagine 7 streams of water falling down from a rock 250 meters high. A mesmerizing sight.
If you look out the fjord and you see the mountain on the other side, that is my mountain. You see the farm up there? Yeah. 300 meters above the sea level, that is my farm. Everybody needed a boat to get home. And the path up to this farm is from, you can park the boat over there through that small forest. And if you look at the treetops like that, the path is going up.
This day was the perfect ending to my trip to Norway. I was a little sad that it had come to an end, but I knew that these memories would stay with me forever. Wow, how many interesting things Norway has shown me in these 12 days. It makes my head spin. But I'm ready for a new adventure. Where should I go next time? What do you think? I look forward to your ideas in the comments, and also, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my next exciting video. Thank you for traveling with me, and see you soon, world travelers.